Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 103 of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. We're going to pick two random SoulsBorne bosses, and then they will go to places that still have snow and shouldn't have snow. They will help them get rid of that snow. And the boss that helps the area get rid of the snow the fastest will be the winner. I'm sick of the snow. That's all there is to it. So we're getting rid of the snow come hell or high water, and there's plenty of bosses that can help out with that. So I have decided to lend my services, and the people have been more than willing to partake in that. So no problem for me. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to get rid of all the snow. So I've had it. I think we've all had it. So that's it. That's just the way it's got to be. The battlefield has been cleared. It can house any and all SoulsBorne bosses, and it has housed all of them at least twice in SoulsBorne Battle Royals that we have held in the past. This little generator has about 100 SoulsBorne bosses and some special spots that can create some interesting scenarios. So we are going to stop this wheel, and we are going to find participant number 1 on this episode 103 of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. The Looking Glass Knight from Dark Souls 2. I like the Looking Glass Knight. I don't know if anyone shares that opinion. I just think the Looking Glass Knight is very interesting. It's a little bit different. I mean, there's a lot of bosses that are a little bit different in the FromSoft universe, but I think the Looking Glass Knight is even more different than all the rest. Just an interesting boss and an interesting concept, and he's pretty tough too. Can hit pretty hard. Can summon a clone of himself or someone to help. My memory is a little bit foggy right now, but I know it can summon somebody from the Looking Glass, so it's kind of the point. So definitely can create some difficult interactions for sure. So the Looking Glass Knight is definitely not a boss to be looked down upon. That is for certain. So the Looking Glass Knight making an appearance here on SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. We're going to take this wheel for another spin. We are going to decide an opponent for the Looking Glass Knight. I'm not sure how the Looking Glass Knight can help get rid of all this snow, but I'm sure it'll find a way. I mean, ideally, I would find bosses with, fire elements, but maybe the Looking Glass Knight is a better choice because, we're trying to avoid property damage too, so that's a factor worth looking into. So I guess, that's worth thinking about. All right. We have the Looking Glass Knight on one end of the battlefield, and on the other end of the battlefield, we have Vicar Emilia from Bloodborne. This is a good one, I think. This is a good little fight. It's not going to be the main event or anything, but this could be one of those fights that steals the show, for sure, and would definitely get people's attention. So I don't hate this fight. I don't hate it at all. So that is very, very cool. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So let us go to the contractually obligated bio. So let's have a look at the Looking Glass Knight. The Looking Glass Knight served as King Vendrick's very intimidating lieutenant. He wields a thorn greatsword and a mirrored shield that gives him the ability to tap into other worlds, which is kind of interesting. In the glory days of King Vendrick's reign, Looking Glass Knight served as someone who, if someone wanted to come and serve in King Vendrick's army, they had to face the Looking Glass Knight first, which I guess that makes sense. If you can get if you can survive him or whatever, you know, you'd be a worthy addition to the army. But he's a pretty intimidating sight. So pretty sure I'd be pooping my pants if I was in that position. After King Vendrick finally comes to the realization that that backstabbing bitch of a queen of his, Nashandra, was only after the first flame and his great soul, Vendrick flees to the undead crypt so that Nashandra cannot get a hold of those things. And basically he goes in there and becomes hollow and just is cursed to wander the halls just endlessly for the end of time, until you come along and kill him should you choose to do so. But after that happens, the Looking Glass Knight becomes the first line of defense for anyone that would come to hunt down Vendrick. And yeah, he's a tough one as well. The fight against him takes place on top of a building in the middle of a lightning storm, and he can summon, if you're playing online, he summons other players that are playing, obviously, through his mirror. If you're playing offline, he just summons NPCs. But yeah, that just makes them more difficult, because then you gotta fight 2 or 3 people. Dick move. Dick move. Unfair. Vicar Amelia is the successor of Lawrence and a high-ranking member of the Healing Church. And she is also the person to whom the gold pendant has been passed down upon. There is not much in the way of lore surrounding her. Really nothing at all. But she is a very tough opponent. As a true beast, she is susceptible to fire and serration. She's very aggressive. And in this battle arena that you fight her in Bloodborne, there is no place that you are safe from her. She will close the distance very, very quickly. And the gold pendant is more than just a simple locket, as it says on the wiki. She can also use it to heal during her matches, which is completely unnecessary. It's just not necessary in this total bitch of a fight. Vicar Amelia is no joke, and I have spent many dozens of minutes / hours battling this very, very difficult enemy. So yeah, anytime Amelia pops up on SoulsBorne Battles to the Death, it's going to be a very tough time for the person on the other side of the battlefield. I can certainly say that much. And yeah, she has very sharp claws like a cat, very long arms, and yeah, she could do a great deal of damage in a very short period of time. So those are all things you do not want to be mixed up in. Certainly in life and also in SoulsBorne Battles to the Death. This is a tough fight to call. It really is. Both bosses have their own unique style of fighting. Amelia is certainly more aggressive, but I think the Looking Glass Knight certainly has a fair level of defense. He does, after all, have a giant mirror shield. He's also a powerful attacker, and he can also summon lightning to assist him, which Amelia is not weak to, but can do more damage. Amelia is probably not probably, but is the faster of the two, and can create distance very quickly. This is definitely a tough fight. It would be a good one too, I think. I watched a boss fight of the Looking Glass Knight, and I was like, he's bigger than I remember him being. I thought he was smaller than that, but I guess not. This may or may not be mildly controversial, but I think I got to give this one to the Looking Glass Knight. I think the Looking Glass Knight has a better chance of winning this fight than Amelia does. Again, I could be wrong. And if you're going to say that Amelia would definitely win this fight, I'm not going to argue with you. But I think the Looking Glass Knight has better defense. The Looking Glass Knight probably hits harder. And I think the Looking Glass Knight could probably withstand Amelia's onslaught long enough to put Amelia away. And I don't think Amelia has enough tricks up her sleeve to deal with the Looking Glass Knight. That is my opinion. I think the Looking Glass Knight would win this fight. It would be a good fight, but I think the Looking Glass Knight comes out the victor in the end. But that is just my opinion. Feel free to leave yours in the comments. And with that, yet another edition of SoulsBorne, Battle to the Death, draws to a close. RobertBlanchardBooks.com. If you're interested in the award-winning Roar of a Dragon series, you can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. If you'd like to hear more about them, the Rise of Dragons podcast, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. My Linktree, my Instagram, my Twitter, all Bobby's Roll 2110. Mondays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Elden Ring No Crimson Flask Run Volume 2, Learning Out the Lakes. This past Monday, I hit the village of the Albanerax, assuming I pronounced that correctly. Trying to make sure these episodes have some sort of theme to them, so I'm just not exploring randomly and nothing's really happening. Yeah, I try to make sure that these episodes are going somewhere so that, you know, you're not just watching random stuff. So, and then I take another crack at Smaragd at the end, so you have that to look forward to. Back in the archives, I have the Dark Souls Remastered No Access Run. I have the Elden Ring No Crimson Flask Run Volume 1 Limgrave. Easy for me to say. I have the Sekiro No Healing Guard Run. I have the Dark Souls 3 No Access Run and the Dark Souls 3 No Level Up Run. So check those out if you are interested. Bobby's World Hunger Games. Plenty of those to check out. Very popular series on the channel. Your Father's Story. Me answering questions from a book. Talking to the boys about life and things of that nature. So vlog style type stuff, so if that's more your speed, go check that out. Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is what you're watching right now. SoulsBorne Battle to the Death, so I don't really have to explain exactly what that is. Saturdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is Bobby's Gaming Lounge, my weekly live stream where I play games, we hang out in the chat, and just relax and have a good time, so it's that kind of thing. I've been doing Resident Evil 7, the blind run, and this past Saturday ended up being the finale, so go and check that out. It came faster than I expected, but it didn't make very much sense when I was told that there was about a half an hour left to do another entire stream on it, so I just finished it up right then and there. And I think this Saturday we're going to take a break for a few weeks. Just forget this Saturday part. We're going to take a break for a few weeks, and then we're going to come back with Resident Evil Village. I'm definitely looking forward to that. But this Saturday, I think I'm going to go back to Call of Duty, the hardened run, or whatever that is. The hard level run that I was doing before. Christian missed out on that first playthrough, so I'm going to do another episode of that, and then after that, I don't know, I'll figure it out as I go along. So yeah, that's what's coming up on the channel. Thank you so much. Again, the subscriber numbers keep going up. It's completely insane. The short that I put up from the last Resident Evil 7 thing, it was slow going for a little bit. It was like 100, couple hundred views, and then all of a sudden it's like 6,500. I'm like, well, that came out of nowhere. So I have you guys to thank for that. That is amazing, and I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. Just working my ass off as always, doing the same old thing. I did finish Module 2 of the management training this week. Scored an 85 on the test, which is a little bit disappointing. But I'm just going to keep plugging away and, drilling that knowledge into my head so I can move forward and accomplish the goals I want to accomplish. So working hard in my full-time job, working hard in this job, just doing what I do, doing what I always do. So, and you guys are along for the ride, so that's what really matters. If you guys weren't enjoying the content, then I wouldn't be worrying about it so much. But I love it, so that's all that matters. So Leave a like, subscribe, notifications, and all that nonsense. I hope everyone has an amazing week. Be well, stay safe, and as always, it's Bobby's World, and you're all just living in it. See y'all live, y'all. Bye.
Hey, boss.
Yes, Courtney.
Mrs. Anderson called. She wanted to order several copies of your books for family and friends.
Oh, that's amazing. Get some ordered, have them sent over to me, and I will sign them for her. I really appreciate it if you could do that for me.
I didn't know you were an author.
You did. Courtney, you've been with me for like 2 years now, and we've talked about it fairly constantly, and there's an ad at the end of every one of these videos.
Well, that doesn't mean that I listen to everything you tell me. Are the books any good?
Well, readersfavorite.com said that its intensity rivals that of the Game of Thrones series. I know, that's pretty crazy, but that's exactly what it says. It's on the Cry of a Raven review. Go check it out.
Well, that's pretty cool. What are the books about?
It's about a soldier who gets exiled for saving a baby dragon, and later he's killed, and he wakes up 3,000 years later with strange powers, and he's watched over by the very same dragon, and the world has been overrun by evil, and he now must travel back in time to stop the evil that started in his own home country.
Wow, that sounds interesting. How can I get copies of the books?
Well, you can go to robertblanchardbooks.com and order your copies there. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. And if you want to hear more about them, you can listen to the Rise of Dragons podcast.
You have a podcast too?
You know what, Courtney? You are doing such an amazing job that I think you are due for a raise. How does that sound?
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Thank you, boss.
You bet. Too bad the raise is going to be when I raise a water balloon over her head and just... Maybe I'll wait until her mom calls. I think she'll find that pretty funny. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com right now and get your copies of the series that got 3 5-star reviews from readersfavorite.com, 3 Author Shout Recommended Reads Awards, and 2 Literary Titan Silver Awards. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free, read more reviews, short stories, and much more. And if you want to hear more about them, you can listen to the Rise of Dragons podcast wherever you find your favorite podcast.